Welcome back, and today we're going to be working through those hands, wrists, arms and shoulders. Taking the hands up in front of you into fists, we're going to roll the wrists around gently, imagining we've got 2 pence piece on the back of our hands, and then we're going to revert the other direction all the way around, inhaling and exhaling, just allowing the body to relax into the stretch. As we exhale, we're going to take the palms down, fingertips towards the floor, and as we inhale, we draw the fingertips up to the sky. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Take the fingertips out, and we're going to start to roll the fingertips all the way down into little fists and release. So again, just finding some space into the fingertips and the hands as we roll those fingertips in and out. Come on down to the ground, place your palms down into the floor, and we're going to open up those fingers and hands a little bit more. Come into the top of the fingertips and roll the hands down individually, moving side to side. Let's repeat that again. So rolling from the top of the fingers all the way down, planting the heel of the hand, and the same on the other side. This also allows you to have good engagement into the mat. So from here, we're going to draw the heel of the hand up. So you're pressing into the fingertips and just drawing the heel of the hand up. You can either do them together or you could do these individually, whichever feels most comfortable for you. Roll it out, and now see if you can roll it up into the last of the digits of your fingertips. You might find this quite tough. You also might notice one hand's a little bit more flexible than the other. Only go as far as feels comfortable here for you. From here, we're going to just gently try and roll the fingers off the mat whilst keeping the heel of the hand on the floor. It's a little bit more tricky, but try as best as you can to keep those arms as straight as possible as you do this. Scoot the knees up to the back of the wrists, and then from here we're going to roll through the wrists. So we're going to just gently rotate using our body weight. By bringing the knees in, it just means we can guide how much weight we want to place into the wrists. We're going to switch direction in a moment. So inhale and exhale, so switch direction all the way around. And again, you can come as far forward and as far back as feels comfortable here for you. From here, we're going to come back into our tabletop. So from here, let's take a nice deep breath in, and then let's step the knees back into tabletop. And from here, we're going to place the palms of the hands towards each other. So taking the backs of the wrists to each other and gently moving side to side. Inhaling and exhaling. So you should feel the stretch moving into the wrists, possibly to the inner forearm. And then from there, we're going to hold one side and then hold the other. Now we're going to take one hand with the fingers facing towards the knee and one hand fingers facing away. So you're going to feel gentle stretch here. Now you can either stay there or sink back into the bottom and then move forward. Again, only go far back as feels comfortable for you. You may just feel that this is enough of a stretch in that tabletop position. Switch hands, again releasing back and coming back up. And again, work with your breath, exhaling as you come back and inhaling as you move forward into the stretch. Using our breath will help us to relax the body and make the stretch a little bit more comfortable. Take the back of the hand now, placing it into the mat, fingertips towards the knee. And again, you may just find that is enough of a stretch, or if you feel comfortable, sitting back into it for a slightly deeper stretch. So you should feel this on the back of the wrist and possibly up the top of the forearm. Switch sides on the other side, so taking that hand in and just releasing back. And remember, you are accountable for how much pressure you put into the back of that hand. So you do not need to put all the body weight into that hand. You could just release it a little bit by not sinking down into it so much. So from here, we're going to come up to seated, and we're going to just roll out those wrists just to take any pressure that you might have experienced in that stretch off. Just moving it around one direction and then the other. And then from here, I'm just going to scoot round so you can see me from the front. So you're going to place the backs of the wrists and the backs of the hands together. So you should find this really nice little stretch. Again, it may feel that coming into the top of the forearms. We're just going to hold that here. And then you place the palms together this time. And then you've got the heel of the hands together. Again, I find this a really, really good stretch, especially if you get very tight wrists or tight forearms. This is a great stretch for this one. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to the mat. So I'm going to take my arm out in front, drawing the fingertips back. Again, some of you might be really hypermobile, so this might not be the best stretch for you, but for most people, this is a really nice little stretch to open up the wrist and the bicep. So we're now taking the fingertips down to the floor, and you should really get that lovely stretch for the bicep muscle there, and obviously inner forearm. Same on the other side, taking the fingertips up to the sky, feeling that on the outer forearm. And then as we take the fingertips down, we're going to feel that into the bicep. So you should get a lovely stretch here. With all these stretches, of course, you could hold them for a lot longer than what I am doing today, but obviously I'd like to get through this for you today. So taking the hands out and bringing it to the shoulders, and we're just mobilizing the elbow joint here. A little bit of blood flow back into those arms. And we can do this a couple of times and then take the elbows out to the side and repeat. So just moving around through the rotator cuff as well, of the shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, we're going to extend those arms nice and long, and we're going to rotate the arms completely. So you're rotating upwards and then rotating the palms away from you. You don't want to bend the elbows here. You really want to keep those arms as straight as possible. So a little twist up to the sky, and then to really intensify that stretch for the biceps and for the wrists, press away as though you're pushing two walls away from you. So keeping the fingertips up high to the sky. Now tip the fingertips down towards the floor. And same pressure. So imagine pushing two walls away here. And now we're going to alternate the twists. So alternating the hands and the arms as we twist forwards and back. So this should be a really good little release for those biceps. They're usually the area that people do struggle to get that stretch into. Take a couple of little shoulder shrugs here. Inhaling and exhaling. And just releasing again any tension that you may have experienced in the stretch. Now we're going to take a tricep stretch. So taking the right arm behind our head and taking the hand down the center of the back. We're drawing that elbow across. I'm just going to show you from behind as well so you can see this more clearly. So holding that elbow, and we're utilizing that stretch into the back of the arm, or those bingo wings that sometimes we refer to. So opening up, and then you can take a gentle side stretch here. So you're just pulling the body over to one side, finding that lovely little stretch. And then you're going to inhale, and you'll be rising back to center, and then we're going to switch sides. So same on the other side, deep breath in. You may notice that you're a little bit more flexible one side than the other, and don't panic too much if you can't quite get your elbow across. That's something to work on in terms of flexibility and mobility. Release, coming over to the other side. And do remember to keep your back up tall. Try not to slouch when we're doing these exercises. Otherwise, it's going to really hinder your progress. Inhaling and exhaling. And then as we release, we're going to come back round into our elbows this time. So we're kind of a tabletop elbow position. So we're taking the knees underneath the hips, taking the hands behind the nape of the neck, and finding this lovely little stretch in the back of the arms. Now I'm also going to show you a modification with blocks. So if you have a couple of books or a couple of blocks, I'm going to show this modification to you now. So from here, what you're going to do is we're going to take those two blocks. I'm going to place them in front of you, about shoulder width apart, I'd advise, because we're taking the body in between. Take your elbows to the end of the blocks, send your hands behind the back of the nape of the neck, sending the bottom over the knees, and just release the head down. Now you might find that this is as far as you're going to go down, but you still feel this really good stretch in the back of the arms and also possibly into the lats as well here. But if you're a little bit more flexible, you may find you can get your head down. Doesn't matter, it's not really important. Take the blocks a little further ahead of you, and then we're opening up the shoulders and the lats here as well. So hands to the tops of the blocks this time, so lengthening the body. And again, a really good little shoulder opener here. So relaxing the head down between the arms. Some nice big inhales and exhales, just to really allow the body to release and relax those shoulders. Inhaling. And as you exhale, rise back up, just move the blocks away. And then we're going to come back out. And I'm just showing you the modified version, or the version if you don't have blocks. So you just come up onto the fingertips. Exactly the same sort of process, but we're just coming up onto fingertips rather onto blocks for this stretch. Just take a nice couple of deep breaths in, exhaling. And then as you rise back up, we're coming into that tabletop, reach the left arm up, and we're going to scoot it through for that thread the needle. Aim to bring it towards the front arm. That's how you're going to get the shoulder under. And you really want to be lengthening the spine. You shouldn't be crunching in on the tummy here. Take the left arm overhead. If your mobility is a little bit restricted for shoulders here, don't worry too much about the top arm. But for those who can, please do. Relax the head as much as you can to the ground. Take some deep breaths in. And as you exhale, let's reach it back up to the sky. Just a little counter pose here before we go to the other side. So scoop the right arm through. Make sure you're drawing the back right underneath, pulling the right shoulder blade underneath, or shoulder, sorry. And then inhale, rise up with the left arm, extending up and overhead. So you've got that lovely big stretch in the side body as well as into those shoulders. And really work on deepening the breath here. This is what's going to help to release the shoulders. And then take that hand back in. Inhale, rise, draw the right arm up to the sky, and then ground back down. So from here, let's just roll up, and we're going to again take the arms back now. So we're really working into the shoulders now. So very gently, you're moving the arms up and working on articulating the shoulder joint. So really focus on bringing the arm as close to the body as possible. And then in this position, I'm obviously reversing the movement, but be really aware that you're not swinging the arm outward, and are really taking care with how you open up the palm, close the palm, and bring it down by the side of the body. So this is a great little mobility drill for the arms, the calves movement. So really articulating through. You are going to notice, generally speaking, that one side tends to be better than the other. So for me, my left side never quite as mobile as the right side. So just really finding as deep a stretch as I can feel as I move through this, and mobilizing that shoulder joint. And by all means, you could slow this movement down a lot more than what I am doing today. And again, if you do find that those arms are coming out a little bit wider, I do have a shoulder mobility video that you can check out to help improve your mobility in the shoulders. Keep moving through. And then from there, we're going to just draw the hands back down, and we're going to interlace the hands. Now, what you're aiming to do here is to roll the shoulders back. Again, I will show you from the back here. So you're basically externally rotating the shoulder joint. So you're rolling the shoulders up and over, interlacing the hands, and then sending the palms down towards your bottom. Inhale and exhale. So this is great for opening not only the shoulders, but the collarbone and the chest. So it's a little bit of a 3-in-1 stretch here. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to release. So from here, we're going to come back round, and we're going to take the arms down by our sides, and then take the right arm in front of us and extending it across the body. Now try to make sure you're not twisting the body. You're just simply trying to find the stretch in the shoulder. So my palm is on the back of the forearm, drawing that arm towards my body. And then I will switch the other side. Try to make sure you're pulling the arm in from the actual elbow joint. We want to make sure it's on the forearm rather than the elbow itself. Again, just be mindful that the body isn't twisting, and that you're keeping the hips facing forward and the shoulders facing as far forward as is reasonably possible. Take a nice deep breath in, shrug it off. You are done. I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon.